Hello. Ken here, a servant of Christ, set apart for the handing over of His blessings. In this video, we look at the fourth question of the Sacrament of the Altar in the Small Catechism. If you have that new version, it's page 241. If you could turn there. The question is, who receives this sacrament worthily? You know what? That's really a dangerous question to ask and to answer, because sinners can't always be trusted to give an answer. The church, pastors and overly pious people have made a mess with this question and answer by excluding so many sinners who need what Christ wants to give them. So why do we even have this question in the Catechism? Wow, we can really say it goes back to 1 Corinthians, where the Apostle Paul admonished some in that church who believed Jesus brought them into a new world, a new relationship, where they didn't have to worry too much about their behavior. They believed that in Jesus, and this was their slogan, all things are lawful for me. So, you never know who go to bed with who. You never knew who would offend and hurt another because they are certain their rights. Paul said that these people were not eating and drinking the Lord's body and blood worthily. Actually, they were eating and drinking judgment on themselves, thinking that Jesus blessed such behavior. They were using Jesus to justify their sins, not to forgive them. So Paul warns them for their present and eternal good. Who receives this sacrament worthily? Our catechism answer is, fasting and bodily preparation are certainly fine outward training, not necessary but okay for the sacrament to be the first food of your day. But here's what's the best. That person is truly worthy and well prepared who has faith in these words. Words from Christ. Words that are true then. That this is given and shed for you for the forgiveness of your sins. That's all it takes. When I say that's all it takes, it's a gift from Christ, because He's given you the words. He's given you the blessings. That's given and shed for you for the forgiveness of your sins. If you think you're unworthy to receive this, you know what? You qualify. If you're battling sins, and in that battle you are often losing to those sins, you qualify. Jesus is looking for sinners just like you. Now, if you think you're something, Christ will work on you. You know, as Christ's servants, as one of His pastors, when it's the Lord's Supper and someone comes up who is just so pleased with themselves in a self-righteous way, I emphasize, given that bread or that wine, that this is for the forgiveness of your sins, right? It's for forgiveness. Not condoning, but for the forgiveness of your sins. And you got them. It's great to see the way Christ deals with people. Come, take and eat Christ's body and blood given and shed for you. Before I finish, I want to make a comment about the sacrament of the altar and COVID, because you know there are times during our health restrictions where we can't come in person to receive Christ's body and blood. Now, some churches have been doing virtual communion, a virtual sacrament of the altar, where the pastor says the words of institution, blesses bread and wine that you got together in your home through the internet, virtually. You know, we don't make up ways to do the Lord's Supper. This is Christ's gift to us, and it must remain as gift. It's not ours to do with what we please. Jesus was with His disciples in person. I mean, He's Jesus, God. He could have done it virtually if that's the way he wanted to do it, but He comes in person, gives His body and blood, like really bread and wine. He's with the people and the people together. This is His gift to us. We are the servants. He is the master. Gift it is and gift it must remain. If we can't receive the Lord's Supper due to health restrictions right now, we can't receive it. It's best that we don't come up with new ways to do the Lord's Supper. It's best to remain with Christ. And you know what? Actually, that will always strengthen our faith. Until next time, Christ is with you always.